Hello everybody. Today we're going to go over setting up transparency using the Arnold renderer inside of Maya 2018. Here's an example of what we're going to accomplish. I've got a window frame with glass in the center, and I've applied a texture to the glass, and then I've also gotten transparency by applying a transparency map inside of Maya. So this is what our final product will look like. Here's an example of my poster that I'm going to be applying. This is my color map. And then to control the transparency, I'm using a transparency map. Everywhere that's black will be transparent. Everywhere that's white will be opaque. And this is where our poster will show up. Let's go over setting this up. Inside of Maya, here is my picture frame, and then inside of a picture frame I have two pieces of glass, two flat plane surfaces for the glass. On either side the surface is pointing outward, so we can have a surface on each side of the glass. Remember, a surface inside of Maya only has one true surface. The other side is not a surface. So we need two surfaces for glass. The first thing I wanted to do was set up UVs. So I've applied UVs. I'll bring over my UV editor. And here are my UVs for the glass. This is where my texture is going to show up. So I'm going to have a movie poster inside of here, and then I'm also going to be applying a transparency map. The first thing I want to do is set up our geometry to properly show transparency. To do that, you want to select your glass, Control A to bring up the attribute editor, and then on your attribute editor you want to select the shape tab at the very top, and then you want to come down to the Arnold attribute and open that window up. So just under Arnold, you'll see where it says Arnold Translator. You want to make sure opaque is unchecked. At default it's checked. You want to uncheck opaque, and that's on the geometry on the shape node. Now that that's established, we can move forward with the shader. So now we're going to apply an Arnold shader. So with the glass selected, I'm going to right click, apply new shader. Under Arnold, I'm going to click Shader, and I'm going to select AI Standard Surface. The AI Standard Surface is an Arnold native shader. Now the Arnold shader has very similar attributes to the standard Maya software shaders, but they're laid out a little bit differently and named a little bit differently. The first thing we want to do is assign our color, our map, to this piece of geometry for our glass. So with the Arnold attribute selected, I'm actually going to name this so I know which shader this is. I'm going to call this glass underscore MTL for material. Glass underscore material, so now I know which shader is my glass material. And under base, I'm going to assign my texture. So this is where I'm going to apply my texture, my color texture to this attribute. So base, color, and I'll click File and navigate to the image, and there's my poster. So now I've applied my texture poster, but I still have white around my border. I still don't have transparency yet because I haven't applied the transparency map yet. So with transparency with Arnold, it's a little bit different than the Maya software rendering. What we need to do on the Arnold shader is scroll down to where it says Geometry and open that window up. And under Geometry, we want to select the opacity, and we want to assign our transparency map to the opacity attribute. So I'll click File and navigate to my transparency map. Now that I've got my transparency map assigned, You can see I've got black around the outside of my poster. That's going to be transparent. And the center that was white is allowing us to see the poster. Now if I do a test render, we can see through the glass, we can see the background, we have the frame rendering, and then we have the poster rendering. I'll just let it finish. And there we have it. So we've got our frame rendered, we've got glass, we can see through the glass, we have our poster showing up, and then we have transparency where the black was. Anywhere there's black, it's going to be transparent. Anywhere it's white, it's going to be opaque.